1926 and 2005. This site has now been developed as residential accommodation, known as the Chocolate Works. Keep looking to your left and you will catch a glimpse of the beautiful Art Deco building. The Chocolate Apple was launched here in 1926 and was made for 28 years, followed by the Chocolate Orange in 1932, which is now a staple stocking filler at Christmas time. At its height, this factory was producing 60 million chocolate oranges every year. When Terry's were owned by Colgate-Palmolive, they even tried a chocolate lemon in 1979. This wasn't very popular, but was discontinued 3 years later. Have a good look at the clock, which is unique. It doesn't have numbers on its face, but letters. It says Terry York, and was designed as an advertising feature because of its proximity to the racecourse. This clock was once known as the kitchen clock of York because the locals used to set their watches by it. After the factory closed in 2005, the clock stopped working. It was the last part of the site to be redeveloped, and the firm discovered that the mechanism had been removed. Much detective work was needed to track down replacement parts. It is a type known as a waiting train clock, which means that all the clocks on site were controlled by an electric impulse from the master clock. It was made by Gents of Leicester and restored recently by Smiths of Derby.
York Racecourse is on your left. Horse racing in York can be traced as far back as the Roman period. Until the racecourse was created here, various open spaces throughout the city were being used to host the sport, including in the early 1600s the Frozen River Ooze. The Knavesmire was chosen as a new site. Part of the marshy area here was drained and a circuit laid out, ready to host the first horse race in 1731. Yorkshire-born architect John Carr built the first grandstand in the 1750s, distinguishing York Racecourse as one of the sport's leading venues throughout the remainder of the century. In 1842, the York Race Committee was formed to make changes, partly because of the rise of Doncaster as a venue, turning the course from a horseshoe shape to a circular track. They improved the standard of racing and introduced popular racing events like the Gimcrack Stakes and the forerunner of the modern Ebor Festival. New stands and other buildings were constructed over the next half-century to meet the needs of the increasing numbers of racegoers. In the modern era, York Racecourse has not only staged many spectacular races, but was also chosen to host Royal Ascot in 2005.
Well, not the windows, but it's like wide open, so...
Looking across the field to the left is an area known as the Knavesmire, as well as being used by the locals in the past for grazing animals. The Knavesmire was in front of a crowd of almost 200,000 people.
I think it's like halfway.
This area, known as the Mount, is a piece of high ground overlooking the land behind us. It was a perfect place during the Civil War for a type of gun emplacement called a sconce. The Royalist soldiers holding this position could watch the attack train from the south.
It feels so weird doing
Behind
that.
the ramparts and encircled by a wide ditch, they were well protected. When Scots on the Parliamentarians attacked the Scots, the Royalist defenders repulsed them and remained in control of this key position until the end of the Siege of York. Musket balls of the period, probably from that skirmish, have been found in the grounds of the Mount School nearby.
We are now in an area south of where the Roman fortress and town were, well known for producing burials and grave goods from the same period. As burial was outlawed within the city itself for hygiene reasons, most cemeteries tended to be concentrated alongside the major roads into settlements. The Roman road from York to Tadcaster crossed this area, known as the Mount. The number of Roman tombstones and other evidence found in the vicinity since at least the 1700s suggests the Mount was a popular place to be buried. Behind the buildings on the left is Driffield Terrace, where routine excavations by archaeologists in the early 2000s revealed over 80 Roman skeletons and 14 cremation burials. Many of the skeletons were found to have been decapitated. Decapitations were not exactly uncommon in Roman Britain, but to find close to 50 in such a small area was highly unusual. The majority of the skeletons found were adult males Under 45 years of age and slightly taller than the average adult male in Roman Britain. Just one of the skeletons found on the site was identified as female. Buried with care and over a period of a couple of centuries, many of the skeletons uncovered originated from outside Britain. Most had lived and died violently, judging by...
Hey guys, we're not there yet. Who's playing Willow Garden? That's just the normal song that we just made.
Welcoming visitors from the south. The gateway's original name, Michaelmas, means Great Street. It's a traditional ceremonial entrance for monarchs entering the city.
Even buses like
Upon arrival at Micklegan Bar, kings and queens are required to touch the stage sword, a custom dating back to Richard II in 1389. King Charles III and Queen Elizabeth II have both arrived in York this way. In September 1541, King Henry VIII and his Queen Catherine Howard were to enter the city through Micklegan Bar, which was decorated for the occasion.
Wait, we might pass where
The king takes a warm gateway instead, after being met outside the city by officials who begged the king's
By the way, that
forgiveness
was
for
our
the Norse rebellion during the Pilgrimage of Grace.
We're like next to it.
On the right-hand side, at the junction, is the Bar Convent, the UK's oldest living Catholic convent, which is also a museum. The building was created at a time in history when the Catholic faith was illegal in England. It has a hidden chapel with 8 doors for a swift escape and a priest hole under the floorboards. The building you see now has a grand facade from the 1700s, but the secret chapel was invisible from the outside, and the priest hole
And
beneath
we
the floor was
are
only rediscovered in the 20th century.
to the train
When
station.
you visit the museum, you can explore the hidden chapel.
Yeah, so we're going
see
to
some
the.
incredible relics,
Well, we're not going
learn
to it,
stories
but
of the
we're like
Catholic
right.
Church.
We're going to the train station now. We're like right outside
On
of
the
it.
brick wall to the left-hand side is a picture of a bright green insect. It's a
Oh,
rare tansy
bright
beetle,
green
almost unique to
insect.
York. The picture was created by the renowned environmental street artist
Oh yeah, my
A.T.M.
YouTube channel will be in the
In real life,
description.
tansy beetles are only 1 centimetre long.
And the comments.
A decline in their wetland habitats and the availability of the yellow tansy flowers they feed on mean they
think
can
we
be
should
found
come
along the
in
banks
a
of the
channel
River
just
Ouse,
for Oliver.
but hardly anywhere else in
And a
the
channel
country.
just for me. And then a channel just both of us.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, but you want a YouTube channel to decide? Yeah, he said
Alright.
it does.
Yeah.
So that's gonna make
We'll do it tonight.
you a YouTube channel by yourself, me a YouTube channel by myself, and then maybe me and him a YouTube channel. But you can join if you want.
Oh, and you know I've been seeing the YouTube videos you've been posting without me on Darren Sharon.
Don't worry, I'm not on YouTube anymore. It's kicked me out.
Okay. But I did see the videos that you made. How to make homemade frosties and that other one.
Yeah, well they're good.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta search up Lorraine Doherty now. I have some videos on there too.
Okay. I'll do it.
Then I'm making that other YouTube
If you look to the
channel.
right, you will see 2 huge
But I don't
archways
know
in the
what's
city
gonna be
walls. These were built to allow steam trains in and out of the city walls into York's first permanent station. Designed by architect George Townsend Andrews, it opened inside the
Okay.
city walls in January
We've been filming for 8
1841.
minutes.
It was built
It's
for the
fine.
York and North Midland Railway Company, chaired by George Hudson.
Okay, that's a bit much.
Much of the land required by the railway company was owned by York Corporation, of which Hudson was a leading member. An agreement was reached between both parties, and permission was granted to pierce the city walls and rebuild them with arched entrances. The first in 1839 and the second one in 1845, when increased traffic led to the enlargement of the station. But as more lines opened to new destinations, the station was becoming congested. Through trains coming into York had to reverse out of the restricted site to continue their journeys. Finally, a new, bigger station was opened outside of the walls in 1877.
It's a man of friends.
And we're just outside the train station now.
On the left is York Railway Station. The bus stop here allows you to explore the station area, or catch buses and trains to other destinations. You can catch our coastline bus nearby, which stops in York on its journeys between Leeds and the East Coast. Please ask your driver for more information. On opening in June 1877, York Railway
Guys, York
Station
is
was the
beautiful
largest
place.
in Britain, containing
Already 10
13
minutes.
platforms and built on a
You talk
curve.
to them again.
The main centrepiece of the station was the 800-foot-long train shed.
Oh, yeah, there's the train station now.
Platforms by rows of cast iron
Yeah.
columns.
Anyway.
This station
We're not going
replaced
to
an
it.
older York
We're going
station within the
at-
city walls,
well, we need to be there
which by the
about
1870s was struggling to cope with increased
and then-
passenger numbers.
And then I don't know what time their
Due to its
train is,
location.
but mine
The
is
North Eastern
about
Railway commissioned
3
architect
o'clock,
Thomas
about
Prosser
3:01.
to design this new station on your left, but it took 6 years.
2:52.
Yeah, I
Benjamin
think mine
Burley
is
took
at
over from Prosser,
3:01.
and he was in turn
Mine's
replaced by
2:52.
William Peachy.
Okay.
Mine's at
At various points in the
Mine's at
station's
3:01.
history, remodelling has
Mine's at
taken place.
2:52.
Most notably
Mine's at
the addition of the
3:01.
current
Guys, this is
footbridge and
confusing.
platform
Yeah.
extensions in the 1930s. In more modern times, the track layout was simplified by British Rail in the run-up to mainline electrification at the start of the 1990s. The railways are a huge part of the city's
I think I should
heritage.
put it out like that so that
When
people
York
can see.
became a major railway centre, it helped boost tourism and attracted heavy industry to the city
so
for
there
the
we
first
go.
time. It was back in May 1839 when the first section of the city's railway was completed. From York to South Milford, about 15 miles away,
Actually, I'm
moving
going to
from a
hand video.
temporary station
So guys,
that was soon replaced
we're
by
gonna
York's
go
old
to-
station within the city walls.
Alright, see ya.
By the middle of 1840,
Bye, guys.
York was connected to
Make
London
chocolate
by
part
rail.
2.
The journey between York and the capital
Yeah.
could be made in
Alright,
as
see ya.
little as 14